What is up, everyone, and welcome to Dishes from Around the World. I'm your girl Maggie the Nomadelle, and we learn about the cultures of the world through their food. Now, of course, I had to choose one of the most controversial dishes out there, falafel. Of course. So let me tell you a little bit about how I choose my dishes, right? So I either pick a dish that I grew up with and I wanted to show you how to make it. For example, the paella, check that out here. Or is one of my favorite dishes, for example, the FEIJOADA here from Brazil, right? Now, I chose Israel as the country that I wanted to learn a little bit more about because I've never been there, and of course I'm very curious about it. And so I typed national dish from Israel, and what do I get? The falafel, right? All right, so I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna look it up, see what the ingredients are. I go to the store, I go to the market, I get all my ingredients, I come back and I do more additional research, and then I realized, but wait a minute. So actually, Israel did not create falafel. It was actually created in Egypt, in Palestine, in Jordan, in Lebanon. Nobody knows. But it was not originated in Israel. Let me tell you that much. However, it is considered as the national dish in Israel. So, let's just say, let's all get along. Politics and economics aside, let's just all get along and let's just cook together today. Falafel. All right? Nope. I don't want to hear about it. Nope. We're just going to make falafel and you're going to love it. And that's all we're going to do. All right. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to get chickpeas. But not just any chickpeas. Dry garbanzo beans or chickpeas, right? And the reason for that is because you don't cook them. So do not cook them, okay? What you're gonna do is you're gonna take a cup of chickpeas. So to the cup of garbanzo beans, we're gonna put a lot of water like so. And then to this water, we're gonna put half a teaspoon of baking soda and 1 teaspoon of salt. The half a teaspoon of baking soda is to soften the chickpeas. What we're gonna do is just soak this overnight between 12 and 24 hours. I'm just gonna do as close as 12 as I can. I'm just gonna overnight it, right? And the reason that we need to do that is to soften them, but they're going to actually expand. I'm gonna put this in the fridge so that it doesn't either stink the place or get bad. I don't know. I'm just gonna put them in the fridge. I'm gonna cover this. I'm gonna leave the ingredients here on the screen, and I will see you back tomorrow. Alright, so welcome back. So I just took the garbanzo beans, the chickpeas, out of the fridge, and this is what it looks like. I thought they were gonna expand a lot more. Not the case, but that's okay. They're definitely a lot softer, and that's because of the baking soda. That helps a lot. So don't forget to put the baking soda and a little bit of salt to the water before soaking them overnight. So now we're gonna drain them, and then we're going to prepare the fresh herbs. And this is just a handful of parsley, cilantro, a little bit of dill, fresh baby dill, and half an onion and 1 clove of garlic. So I'm gonna go ahead and put it all in my chopper grinder. We're gonna go ahead and grind the chickpeas. As a reminder, these chickpeas, these garbanzo beans, have not been cooked, okay? So that's the key. And so they're still raw, and we're gonna go ahead and grind them. So we're gonna put a little bit of water. Okay, that made a huge difference. So at first it was being very hard to grind them because the beans themselves were not 100% soft because they're not cooked. So it says to put a little bit of water in if needed, and I did. I put just a little bit, maybe like half a cup, and actually that helped a lot. That did the trick. So I'm able to blend it a lot better. So after I blend it all the way through, I'm gonna go ahead and put the fresh herbs and the rest of the spices. So this is what the texture should look like. It's kind of like mashed potatoes, I suppose. That's what it looks like, that's what it feels like. Alright, so ready to put the spices in. Some of the spices are kind of, I wouldn't say mandatory, but they are part of the recipe, like you have to have them. So for example, the fresh herbs, parsley, cilantro, and dill. Now 2 teaspoons of cumin, we definitely have to have that. 1, 2, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of ground coriander, and half a teaspoon of either red chili powder or cayenne. I had cayenne, so that's what I'm going to use. Now, what is optional in terms of the spices are the 1 and 1/3 tablespoons of sesame seeds. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and put them at the end, so I don't want to grind them. And half a teaspoon of ground turmeric. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, just because I have turmeric. And half a teaspoon of white sugar, but I don't have sugar in this house. So I'm going to use half a teaspoon of blue agave or agave. That's what I use instead. All right, so now we're going to grind all of that. And now I'm going to put the sesame seeds. This is 1 and 1/3. Sure, that's plenty. And now I'm gonna mix it again. All right, so here's our mix. Actually looks pretty good. It's supposed to be a little bit runny like this, not too bad. Oops. But in any case, it's very well mixed. So this is perfect. We're gonna go ahead and cover it, and we have to put it in the fridge for a minimum of 1 hour before we're able to fry them or air fry them or bake them, whatever your preference is. So the minimum is 1 hour, and you can actually leave it in the fridge for up to 3 days, okay? But at least 1 hour. And I'm gonna go ahead and cover that, put it in the fridge, take a nap, and I'll be back. Alright, so I just took the mixture out of the fridge, and it's definitely a lot firmer. Definitely a lot firmer. So what we're going to do is we're just going to make little balls, and then we are going to fry them. And again, you can do this part on a regular pan, or I like to do it on my electric pan, and it has to be in high, right? So approximately 350 degrees if you're using the electric pan, or in high if you're using regular pan, or you can air dry them as well, or you can bake them for 20 minutes in 375 degrees. So whichever you choose, whichever way you choose to cook them is absolutely fine. And I think that the oil here is ready, and let's go ahead and yep, absolutely ready. So actually it was just 6 minutes. That's all it took for the falafels to cook. So let's go ahead and give them a try. Here's what my dish looks like. And actually, well, okay, so you can most certainly put it inside a pita, and people normally put either hummus or baba ganoush or tahini sauce, not actual tahini paste, but a tahini sauce. Actually, what I did, I just wanted to put it on top of a salad. I was just feeling a salad today. And instead of any sauces, I just made this plain yogurt sauce. And it's actually delicious because I just put olive oil, salt, and pepper, and a little bit pieces of cucumber and dry dill on top, and that is it. It's just perfect for any health conscious dip, I suppose. Now, then again, I just fry these falafel. So anyway, so let's see how they turn out. Oh my god. Really amazing for being the first time I make them. Really good. All right, well, so I hope you enjoyed today's dish, the falafel, controversial falafel. We don't care where it's from at this point, and we're just cooking together, right? So let me know how yours turns out, if you made any variations to it, etc. So thank you so much for stopping by, and I will see you next time on Dishes Around the World. Salud!